In the heart of the Saudi desert, where endless sand once met the horizon, a new city is rising. A city so ambitious it challenges the very idea of what humanity can build. A place called NEOM, a futuristic paradise worth more than $500 billion. But behind the glittering dreams and mirrored walls, there's a mystery. A single man, powerful, untouchable, and determined to build the future on his own terms. This is the story of the hidden billionaire behind NEOM, the man who wants to rewrite the destiny of an entire nation. It all began with a vision, to turn the desert into the center of the world. For centuries, the Arabian desert was seen as nothing but sand and oil. But one man looked at that vast emptiness and saw opportunity. He saw cities floating on the sea, mountains with ski resorts, and vertical walls of glass stretching for miles across the sands. A place without cars, without pollution, and without limits. A city powered by artificial intelligence, robots, and renewable energy. A city built not for today, but for the next 100 years. That man is Mohammed bin Salman, known simply as MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. To the world, he's a young royal, but in truth, he is one of the richest and most influential men alive, backed by a sovereign wealth fund worth nearly $1 trillion. He doesn't just spend money, he invests in control, in power, and in legacy. For MBS, NEOM isn't just a project, it's a symbol, a message to the world that Saudi Arabia is no longer just about oil. It's about innovation, dominance, and the future. But behind the scenes, NEOM is more than a city. It's a strategy, a master plan to shift the world's attention. Saudi Arabia sits at the crossroads of 3 continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe. And NEOM, built on the edge of the Red Sea, is designed to become the new global hub, a bridge connecting East and West. If this works, every trade route, every investment, every major company will one day pass through this city. That's not just business. That's power. The project's design is beyond imagination, a 170-kilometer-long mirrored city called The Line, where everything you need is within a 5-minute walk. Then there's Oxagon, the world's largest floating industrial hub, and Trojena, a winter resort in the desert where people will ski on man-made snow under the Arabian sun. For most leaders, these would be impossible dreams. But MBS isn't most leaders. And when he says something will be built, it gets built. Still, every dream has a cost. Behind NEOM's beauty lies controversy. Stories the world rarely hears. Entire tribes displaced from their ancestral homes. Workers claiming impossible deadlines and silent restrictions. Critics calling NEOM a utopia for the rich and a nightmare for the poor. But money, especially $500 billion, has a way of silencing questions. And so construction continues, day and night, across the endless sands. To understand NEOM, you have to understand the man behind it. MBS doesn't just want to build a city. He wants to build a legacy, a monument that outlives his name, his rule, even his country's borders. He wants to be remembered the way people remember the pharaohs of Egypt or the emperors of Rome, men who turned dreams into civilizations. And NEOM is his empire in the making. Inside the walls of the line, there will be no roads, no cars, and no pollution. Instead, everything will be powered by clean energy and controlled by data. Artificial intelligence will track your health, your schedule, even your mood, predicting what you want before you ask for it. It's the future. Beautiful, intelligent, and terrifying. Because a city that knows everything about you can also control everything you do. But for MBS, control is not the problem. It's the point. In his vision, NEOM is the ultimate symbol of leadership, a city that obeys, performs, and shines, all under his command. And as billions pour in from global investors and corporations, the world is beginning to pay attention. For some, NEOM is the next Dubai. For others, it's a glimpse into a future where freedom and perfection cannot exist together. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The desert that was once silent is now echoing with the sound of machines, cranes, and dreams. A new empire is being born from the sand, and it carries the name of one man's vision. Whether NEOM becomes the world's greatest city or the most expensive failure in history, it will forever stand as proof of how far one billionaire's ambition can go. Because in the end, the story of NEOM isn't just about technology or luxury, it's about power, and the man who dared to build the future in the middle of nowhere, just to prove he could. The desert once represented emptiness. Now, it represents possibility. And deep within that desert, a hidden billionaire watches his dream rise, glass by glass, tower